Aloha, my love. Happy 1/20/2021. Today is what they call a Palindrome day, and this is a very sacred day for all beings on Earth. This happens very rarely. It's only every now and again, actually. And this year, we have two Palindrome days. So January 20th, 2021, and December, we have another one. So this year is a remarkable, extraordinary portal into the new Earth. And I thought I would just come on. I was just leading this ceremony. I have this head thing on, but I decided to keep this on. Aloha, welcome, beautiful beings. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your light. And so the best way to align with the energy today, because like the importance of these portals is that we can align with the universal forces, and those universal forces can bring to us a greater amount of power and energy. So if you have certain dreams that you've been trying to manifest into your life, now is the time to align with those timelines. And what does that really mean? It means that start to see yourself living your dreams. Start to feel that in your own energy every single day. Instead of seeing that it's separate from you, see yourself already there. Like you're already there. There was a beautiful story about Buddha. Recently, I heard Sadhguru tell the story, but I love the story so much, I'm going to share it with you. It was the story of the day of Buddha's enlightenment. So, Buddha had spent, I think, 7 years fasting and walking around, meditating, sleeping on beds of nails. There was many austerities that he went through in order to try to come to his place of enlightenment. And he, was trying everything. So after 7 years of this, he was kind of like, when's this enlightenment gonna happen? I guess maybe he was getting a little impatient on this. So he decided to sit down by the Bodhi tree, the famous Bodhi tree that later became famous. And he sat down by the tree and he went into his meditation. And in the meditation, he was able to see what he had always been striving for, which was a goal of enlightenment. His goal was outside of himself, and it seemed that there was a distance between him and that goal. Aloha, welcome everybody who's joining the live. I just saw Betsy on here. Hey, goddess. Anyway, so there was this apparent separation between himself and the goal, and there seemed to be a distance there. And what happened was he sat in the Bodhi tree and he meditated on what his goals in his dream was, which was to become enlightened. And he just saw that the timeline collapsed. And that collapse of timeline helped him to see there was no distance between where he was and where he desired to be, and that he was already there. And in that moment of awareness, he became fully enlightened. And it was the most profound, enlightening experience that any being has experienced on this earth. And it was as a result of that moment that his teachings have lived on for thousands of years and continually enlighten people, help people to go within, to meditate, and to see their own innate divine perfection. So I invite you into this conversation so you can consider this for yourself, that there is no distance between you and who you are right now and who you wish to be, or your highest self, or your dreams and goals, or this future vision of yourself that you aspire to be. It is you right here now. There's no distance. So you can collapse the timeline and celebrate because you're already there. And the process of remembering is really what the spiritual journey is about. It's not about doing, although there's many practices that we do. We do practices for meditation, obviously. We do breath work. We do lots of different beautiful ceremony. Today we did a live ceremony on YouTube with my yoga teacher training tribe. And so there's many ways that we gather and we come together to unite our energy, to remember. And that's the whole journey, is just to remember and continuously let go of the illusion that there is anywhere else you need to go. because it's here, it's now. You are there. You are it. There's a famous book called I Am That. And then there was a follow-up book called You Are That. And now I say, we are that. And what is that? That is everythingness. In the spiritual teachings, the teachings of all the enlightened masters, it's always the same. You know, that your unique divine expression is just an expression of the oneness of existence. And that divine expression is what makes you unique, but also the recognition that we are all the same. We have come from the same source. We will return to the same source. And here on this earth plane, we are living out the theater of our own unique experience. And as the creator, we get to choose what that looks like and how that unfolds. And at the same time, we are co-creators with the universe, right? So sometimes we wonder, why are things happening the way they're happening? And what is this all about? But if we really look at the bigger picture from the widest lens that we can see existence, from the widest lens in existence, the universe, and we look down on our planet, the planet Earth, and we look down at all the things that are happening with the lockdowns and the different issues that are facing the planet right now, and we see and we trust that everything is truly in divine and perfect order. The universe is awakening consciousness all the time. That's what the evolution of a human life is all about. It's just constant awakening consciousness, evolution from ignorance into awakening, into enlightenment. That's the journey that all beings come to the earth to experience and to enjoy the journey and to dance and to love and to play and to, interact with each other and to learn from each other. And ultimately, the ultimate expression of your life force energy here in this life is to be of service. So think about that. Meditate about that today on this very sacred day. Palindrome Day, 1/20/2021, is a day to manifest. It's a portal. We have three numbers that are represented here. The 1, the 2, and the 0. So the 1 represents the individual, the leader in you, that is the leader of your own sovereign journey. The 2 represents the partnership, the both of us, the duality of the world. And then the 0 represents everythingness and nothingness. It's the ultimate. That's why the symbol of Zen is this circle, because everything in life is a circle. So just continuously, there is no beginning, there is no end. It's eternal, and it's constantly evolving and expanding within ourselves and within the universe. And we are breathing as one with the universe. So that's our unique opportunity here in this life, is to remember that. So any suffering, any pain, any experience other than this unbelievable bliss connected to the source of life is part of that illusion. So shedding the layer of that, which is the illusion that you're separate from God, or the illusion that we're separate from the source of life, that illusion is what creates suffering. And the way out of that is to just surrender deeply to this divine present moment in absolute appreciation for the perfection of life, and in recognition and in humble gratitude for the lessons that we have the opportunity to experience in this life. We are all walking each other home, as Baba Ram Dass used to say. What does that really mean, walking each other home? It means that we're all heading in the same direction. So you can't see me as separate from you. And if you judge me, or if I judge you, or if we hate each other for some reason, we need to look deeper at that and see what in me is triggered by you, and what in you is triggered by me, and what about that root of that is a seed of truth of what truly inside of me is keeping me separate from the source of life. And let us always remember that we are not separate. You and I are not separate. We are not separate from the source of life. And absolutely, we are not separate from God. And all is one. So whether you call it God, the universe, the source of life, you are an expression of that divine energy. And so anything that may be difficult in life, we can turn to that. That's why a lot of people, like we talk about praying to God. What does it mean to pray? To pray to God, it means to have a conversation with the source of life within us. And that says, all right, dear God, thank you for this beautiful life. I surrender. I give up any control that I feel like I might have, and I give that up to you. And I trust that you have a greater plan in store for all beings on earth, and that you have a greater plan for my life. And so I don't have to try to control things, and I don't have to try to freak out when the timing is not the way that I want it to be, because I can trust that everything's always unfolding in divine and perfect order, in divine and perfect timing. And as long as I trust that and I stay in alignment with my unique expression and stay in alignment with generosity and kindness and appreciation and love and all of the positive energy that I have within me, and every day keep focusing once again on those energies, then my life will continuously remain in alignment. And as long as I'm in alignment, I can be a role model and a beacon of hope for other people so that they all as well may be in alignment. So we may all be in alignment and live in alignment and experience life and what that means to be in alignment with our soul and with our unique expression and with our truth. Do you know what your purpose here in life is? Do you feel connected to that? If so, I would love to hear what that is, because the more that you declare that to the universe, the more the universe will support you in that direction. One thing that happened early on for me when I discovered my purpose as a yoga teacher and a light being on this planet that's sent here, I chose to be born at this time to help humanity to get through this difficult time on earth. And a lot of us chose to come at this time for that reason. And so if you're feeling called to help humanity and to be a part of the solution and to be a part of the tribe of leaders who are here leading the way, and also to get out of your own way, which is a big part of it. If we're stuck in the old story of our own suffering, we can't be in our highest self, in our dharma, or in our purpose. So we have to continuously redirect our focus to our dharma, to our purpose. So if you're feeling called to be a part of that tribe, join our tribe. I have a training that's been going on, and you can join at any time. You can learn more at flowstate.yoga. This is a yoga teacher training, but it's much more than that. You're going to learn how to become a flow state master, a flow state life coach, a prana shaman, energy healer, and to learn how to heal your own energy and heal other people. This is the true gift of life, is that we can awaken to our own innate power, and that power is that we can heal ourselves and each other, and that we don't need to go to a doctor or take a pill. We can actually heal ourselves with energy, with our breath alone. We can heal. We can release ancient traumas from ancestral wounds from many lifetimes just with our breath, just with our mind. We can meditate and we can let go of old stories and reprogram cellular memory and regain the sovereignty over our mind and our life and our energy. And then from that place of mastery, then you can be of greater service to your friends, to your family, because then you're not a victim and you're not suffering and you're not struggling in this time. There are people, myself and friends of mine, who are doing wonderful and that are in bliss and joy, and I feel a responsibility to help everyone, because literally the solutions are so simple. You just have to willing to do the work. There is a discipline there. There's a dedication, a devotion. In yoga we call it bhakti, devotion. Selfless devotion, meaning to give yourself to this life and to give yourself fully with love, and not for selfish reasons, but for the betterment of all beings. To recognize that your life here on earth is at the highest octave of your purpose. It is to help all beings to become liberated from their suffering as well. So the first step is liberate ourselves from our suffering, and then the second step is liberate others from their suffering, and together we can be the way showers, the torch bearers, those who lead humanity back into the light. And that's what we're here for, and I really believe that to be true. So leave a comment, let me know if you also feel that way. Let's see, John Fay says, the book Journey to Joyful really helped me. Oneness transcribed with Rasha also helped. Thank you for all your comments. Let's see if we have any questions. If you guys have any questions, you can feel free to post those in the comments. You know, I see that my life here is, the purpose of my life is to be of service. So I'm always trying to think, how best can I be of service, and what can I do? What can I share today that might help you to feel more aligned with your own higher self, to feel more joy, more peace, more harmony, and so that you can also align with your purpose of life, and that energy that you put forth would be not only to benefit yourself, but to benefit all the beings whom you come into contact with. Let's see, we have a great question. Self. Hey, that's a great question. Well, there's a lot of ways. I actually did a ceremony today on YouTube. If you want to go watch it, it's available for the replay, and that's a ceremony that we did actually, and it's I like to call it old self, new self. And so it's exactly what you were asking, which is, you know, you let go of the old self. There's a ceremony that we did about that, and you know, it's a process for some people. Some people it's very easy, you know, like you just shed it, like you take off your clothes and then you're new again. But then some people it's not. Sometimes it takes a process. So I remember there was a talk by it was Alan Watts, and someone had come to him and they said, you know, I know that I need to do yoga and meditate and do all these things, and I'm just wondering, how long is it going to take for me to become enlightened, right? And that was his, you know, people have different definition for enlightenment, but perhaps this is going to be helpful for anybody who wants to become your highest self, which is the, you know, you could say the more self-realized version of yourself. So how do you shed that old story, right? So he said, and I love this part, he said, well, you can do all those things, and those things will definitely help you to get there. And they've helped many people, and thousands of people, millions of people over the thousands of years. Or you can just choose right now to wake up. And in this moment, you're there. And just like Buddha, there was no difference, there was no separation. There was no more journey to go. You're already there. So start to embody it. Who is your higher self? How does your higher self show up? Let's talk about that. If you want to become the new version of yourself, how does the new version show up for you? Does the new version of yourself show up with love and kindness and generosity and benevolence? Does your new higher self live in abundance and feel abundant as you contribute to make the world a better place? Does your higher self connect to other beings and co-create together so that you can, you know, make the world a better place with your energy? Or, you know, think about the opposite of that. The lower self, let's say the old version, right? Does the old version maybe have a lot of time complaining? This is an old story paradigm that everyone can let go of. The energy of complaining is toxic. The energy of talking about the old story is even toxic, right? It just keeps you there, and it doesn't allow you to go beyond there. It anchors you into the old story by talking about it, thinking about it, focusing on it. So the only way to recreate yourself is to step into the new story and the embodiment of the higher self, and what that looks like, feels like, and acts like, behaves like. How does that higher self version of you show up? That's the key. So if that version of you shows up and takes action, maybe that version of you shows up and gives yourself and just shares your love freely from your heart with no judgment. Maybe the higher self version of you is living in a different place. Maybe you need to move. Maybe the higher self version of you needs to let go of some fears. So when you think of the fear, you decide, I'm going to move into the fear. Instead of allowing this fear to hold me back, I'm going to move into the fear and completely be the embodiment of everything that I was afraid of. That's the key. A lot of times it's just that fear that holds us back. So if you have any fear, move into it. Don't run away from it. Don't shy away from it. And if you have any blocks to your energy, you're going to know that because it's going to be a clear message inside. You're going to know if you have any blocks. And if you do, listen to yourself inside and work on those blocks, meaning breathe into it. Do what needs to be done. If it's your root chakra, get more into your physical body. Feel connected to your community, your home, and your family. And if it's your second chakra, be more playful and creative. Get in touch with your sensual energy. If it's your third chakra, be more confident and connect to your power. If it's your fourth chakra, be more loving and compassionate and forgive more easily. If it's your fifth chakra, speak your truth and come from your Christ consciousness, which is your divine mission, your purpose, and your message for this world. And the sixth chakra, listen to your intuition and listen to the divine guidance of source energy that's speaking to you all the time. Listen and take action when you hear the message. And then the seventh chakra is listening, connecting to your divine essence, that truth of life within you that knows all the wisdom is there. You don't need to search outside yourself. Close your eyes and connect to the divine source of life and allow that infinite intelligence and that wisdom to stream to you and through you, and let that be who you are. Let's see, I have a comment from Olivia. What advice can you share with protecting myself and energy from negative family members during times of grief? My grandfather passed suddenly Sunday. Wow, I'm sorry to hear that, beautiful. Okay. Protecting yourself and your energy from negative family members is the same as protecting yourself from any negativity, right? So first of all, you need to create a barrier, a shield of protection. One of the things that really helps that is called the violet flame meditation. You can Google that, violet flame meditation. I am the violet flame of fire. I am the purity God desires. I am the violet flame of fire. I am the purity God desires. If you continuously create this shield of protection around yourself, the violet flame can protect you. So that one has been passed down from the teachings of Archangel Michael and different wisdom teachers. That one's really nice. Another option is you got to see the person who's negative with compassion, because when people are negative, as I was saying earlier, it's not because they want to be suffering and be negative. It's because inside they're suffering and they're really separated from their truth. So that's the only reason, especially someone that's in your family, that's the only reason that someone would be negative and be mean to you is if they literally are suffering inside. So have compassion for them. Mean people, angry people, it's not that they want to be mean and angry trolls and negative naysayers. It's just that they have so much negativity inside them. They're toxic. So just protect yourself with a shield and just see them with compassion. And this is the test the universe gives these people. It's 11:11, by the way. So let's just take a moment and we'll just say a prayer for Olivia and her grandfather who passed. And we love you. And I'm sorry to hear that happen, but he's definitely in a beautiful place. I believe that without question. And that you, Goddess, are definitely a strong, powerful energy that can hold your shield up whenever any negative energies are around you, and recognize fully that you are a divine creation of the source of life, and that any negative energy around you, you just deflect that with your shield of truth, and you just stay in your power, and you stay in the light, and you stay in love and compassion, and you see the people as they are, that they're hurting and that they obviously have a lot of suffering within them, and you send them love, and you send them peace, and you send them healing. and you recognize that you're grateful because you're not in that place. You're not. So that's the beauty. So don't let them suck you into it. That's the key. Do not let people suck you into their suffering. You can be the one that brings... There's a saying, actually, don't let somebody pull you into their storm, pull them into your peace. I love that saying because it's so true. And you can be that ocean of peace for the world, for your family, for the negative people. You can just be that ocean of peace. It's not always easy, honestly. I mean, I'm not saying this is like easy to do, but this is the test. Oh, I love you. Namaste. I'm glad that was helpful for you. This is the test, people. We are in the Bhagavad Gita, which is the ancient teachings of the Vedic culture and yoga. The Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is on a battleground in the entire book. The entire book. He is fighting the battle. And what is this battle? Everybody has this battle. It's the battle like Olivia's facing with negative people. Her grandfather passed away and her family's being negative. You know what? That happened to me as well. When my mother passed away 12 years ago, we went to the memorial, and it was a year after she passed, but everybody was still suffering from the grief. Sometimes it takes a long time, to heal from that. And I remember we went, and all of us came together for the memorial. We went to Colorado. I love you too, Goddess. Thank you for the beautiful message. So anyway, when my mother passed away, we all came together, and it was crazy because we were like fighting, and my sister got really angry at me because I put the suitcase in the trunk in the wrong way, and she spit in my face. And I was like, oh my God, I was already in grief from my mother passing away, and then my sister's gonna beat me up over the suitcase. And I remember how hurt that made me feel, but I also look back and I realized the reason she did that was because she was also hurting, and the way that she deals with her own suffering and pain is to project anger outwards. And that's how some people do it. And I pray for those people. And so when people are that way in your life, you don't have to, put up with it. I highly recommend getting out of those environments, but at the same time, have compassion for them because you can realize they're suffering too. Let's see, I have a comment. Love your content with my soul. I just discovered it by reading Miracle Mornings. I need to ask you, do you recommend some kind of meditation? I mean, a meditation from a particular culture. Wow, what a beautiful message. Thank you. I don't know how to say your name. Abagueno. Are you from Brazil? I have so many people on here from Brazil. I gotta go to Brazil. I love Brazilians. Okay, so his question is really good. Basically, do I recommend a particular meditation? Personally, I love all kinds, but it really depends on your constitution. Like if it's really hard for you to sit still, I would suggest doing dancing meditation because then you can get beyond the suffering of the body and be in that infinite space. But if you can, sit still. Sitting meditation is powerful. I highly encourage with binaural frequency music is really powerful to begin with. And if you're just starting meditation, I highly encourage you try guided meditation, which can be somebody, like I have some guided meditations if you want to, I have the free program, it's called Self-Love and Yoga, and I also have the other one called, it's a 7-day flow challenge. You can get those in the link in my bio, and it's free, and you can download, and you can see there's guided meditation. So that's a really good place to start if you're new with meditation. The other meditation I really love is Vipassana. Vipassana is silent meditation. It's passed down from Buddha for thousands of years. It was the same meditation he used. When I did Vipassana, it changed my life forever. So I highly encourage everybody, if you can, do that because Vipassana can change your life. But if you can't get away for 10 days, actually some people I know do an online Vipassana. You could try that. But try my free self-love and yoga sleigh challenge or the free flow challenge. I have some guided meditations in there. It's a good place to start. Let's see, I got this. Love Kiki says, I didn't know dancing was a form of meditation. Absolutely. Some of the tribal cultures, that is their only form of meditation, tribal dance, because it gets you out of your mind. One of the keys to meditation is being able to get outside of the mind and to be able to connect to the infinite source of life. And so if you can do that through dance, then that's the key. You just have to find what works for you. Breath meditation, mantra meditation, I love breath meditation. It's one of my favorite. Mantra meditation is one of my favorite. If you love to sing, I would do mantra meditation because it really gets you connected to the divine in a beautiful way, in a harmonious way, but also opens your heart. And that's one of the most beautiful things. Let's see, Jaja, my name is Ignacio. Oh, Ignacio. Let's see, from Chile. Thank you so much for answering. I've been dancing a lot lately after my exercise, so we're kind of on the same track. Yeah! You know, a lot of times in the Latin culture, the dancing meditation can be the most natural, because in your culture, in whether it's Chile or Brazil, Colombia, all the cultures down there, the dancing is such a part of the culture. But the key to it is connect to your breath and get out of the mind. So if you can dance, but dance ecstatic dance, get out of your mind and just be with yourself, be with the infinite source and communion with the divine, with the source of life, with God consciousness, and feel that expansive, loving energy streaming to you and through you as you, and let that be a spiritual experience. So it doesn't have to be, like a certain structure to it. Although I do prefer, I love both dancing and sitting, but I think you're going to make the most progress when you get into your sitting meditation, because that's when you really just break completely outside of the mind and the body, and then you have so much power there waiting for you. But yeah, let me know how it goes. Come back and leave a comment. Let's see, the Mighty Brando says, just your voice is incredibly soothing. Aw, thank you. Much love to you. I've been teaching yoga and meditation for 15 years. For those of you, like he said, he read the Miracle Morning. I wrote the yoga chapter in the Miracle Morning, and that's a really huge book now. It became a huge bestseller. And also my book's coming out next year. It's called The Flow State. And there's a lot of meditation and different practices in there. So I wanted to come on here and just give you guys some love and some positive energy and some hope and some, something to aspire to. Just stay connected to your soul and to your spirit and to God, and life is flow. Literally life is always flow. Like in the Taoist tradition, they always talk about be like water. So no matter what's happening outside of us, be like water and be that energy that can handle whatever is going on around us, and we can just allow it to flow off, and that we stay in our center like the eye of the storm, and we're able to maintain that beautiful energy no matter what's going on in the world. We can be that beautiful eye of the storm. Let people come into your peace. Don't let them suck you into their drama. Right? Let's see. Austin says, do you have any advice for healing the wounded feminine or balancing both energies? I've struggled with making decisions, boundaries, and feeling like a victim sometimes. Thank you so much. I love you. Oh, I love you too. Okay, that's a great question, Austin. Let's see. There's a lot of questions there. That's more than one. One said, do you have any advice for healing the wounded feminine? If you're a male or female and you have the wounded feminine, the feminine energy is the energy of receiving. It's the energy of allowing, receiving, surrendering, and beingness. So that energy we all have. So whether you have the male or the female body, we all have to strengthen this energy. The energy of allowing, receiving, being. And the masculine energy is the doing and the kind of like the giving is a part of that. So there's like doing, giving. It's like the energy that goes out, and then the feminine is the energy that it's more like coming in. Also, the feminine energy is a nurturing energy. So I highly encourage, if you want to work on your feminine energy, is do some self-care practices. Like get a massage or give yourself a massage, but receive loving energy towards yourself, and also relax more. Just relax and allow life to be as it is instead of trying to control it. The controlling energy is more the masculine again. Masculine is that dominant energy that needs to control, that wants to be the leader. And those are good things too. A masculine energy leads and it makes structure and brings order. And feminine energy allows and brings creativity and nurturing and nourishment. And so you gotta have both. You have to have that feminine energy, nourish yourself, give yourself love, give yourself time to just be, sit by a tree. That was Buddha's solution. But, be in nature, go in a waterfall, or if you don't have any of those things, go in the park, go outside, breathe the fresh air, rejoice in the beingness of life. That's the feminine energy. And then balancing is what I was talking about. You can't be too much in the feminine. That's not going to be healthy either, right? So if you're always just allowing, receiving, and being, but you never do anything, then you don't create anything with your life, and then you have financial problems and all these other issues. So you got to have both. The balance between receiving, allowing, and being, and doing, creating, and being that giving energy, and find that balance every single day. And it's it's not easy. It's not always the easiest thing to do, but the more that we practice that, then the more life is in balance. And if we're in harmony with life, then life streams to us, and that's what the flow state's all about. Life is always streaming to us and through us, so we can just allow life to stream through us, and we can be a better contributor to this world, because we're not trying to control things. It doesn't need to be on a certain timeline or the way that we want it to be. We just connect to the universe, tune in to what the messages are. The universe is always giving us messages, and listen. And as we listen deeply to life is always guiding. So take time in meditation. This is one of my favorite meditations. Just ask, like if you're meditating, take a deep breath and exhale, and then ask your higher self a yes-no question. It has to be yes-no, because that's going to be easier for the higher self to give you that answer. But ask the higher self, like for example, just for this question, Austin, you could say, is my feminine out of balance? Do I need to focus more on my feminine energy? Let's say you were going to ask that. And then you ask that, and then you're going to feel, if the answer is yes, it's going to feel like a lot of expansive, positive energy. And the answer is no, it's going to feel like a more constricted energy. And so you're going to hear the yeses and the nos, and you're going to get the guidance from within, just from that practice. So do that with yourself and let me know how it goes. And then your other question is, I struggle with making decisions, boundaries, and feeling like a victim. So the number one thing, making decisions, use my yes-no technique. That will help. Number two, setting boundaries. Boundaries are interesting because boundaries are about self-love. When you recognize you have, your time is valuable, you have an important mission here, you have a purpose of life, so you can set boundaries because you wouldn't let anybody treat you badly. Like if you were your own parent, would you let people treat you badly? No. You would stand up for yourself, or you stand up for your child. So you got to treat yourself like you're your own child. You're your own best friend. You're your own cheerleader. So you got to stand up for yourself, and that's what boundaries are. It's just like, you know what? With love and gratitude and respect, I have to say no to this. And as we say no to something, we close that door, we're actually saying yes to ourselves, and we're saying yes to something else. So it's a beautiful exchange. So no is not no completely. No is no to that, which is yes to me, yes to my soul, yes to my happiness, yes to my evolution. So yes is always a good thing, and it comes with a no on the other side of it every time. For every no, there's a yes. So no to that means yes to this. But if you say yes to that, it means no to this. So you got to recognize you're always saying no to something and yes to something. And that's when we start to understand boundaries so much better. And then the part about the victim, I'll just mention, because a lot of times if we feel victim, it means that we're externalizing our power. It means that we're saying something outside of us is in control, right? Is in control of our life, whether it's a person or circumstances. And when we take our power back, we realize we are in control. We are the co-creators. It's just us and God, us and the source of life, nothing else. So if we are the creators with this reality, then, we would never blame anybody outside of ourselves or externalize that power. And so instead, take that power back and say, I am the creator. I created this. For example, I had a lot of suffering and trauma in my life early on. And at the time, I didn't know I was in any way being a co-creator of it. I just felt, life is hard. So instead, years later, when I learned to take my power back, I was like, wow, okay, I created that for a reason. I attracted that abuse, I attracted that robbery, I attracted that rape, I attracted horrible things, and I didn't know why. And looking back, now I can see there were many reasons. Ancestrally, I was holding on to certain belief systems, ancestral karma that I needed to release and heal. There was a lot of old paradigms and programs that had been installed from my childhood and from my ancestral traumas and karma from my mother and from many things. So as I reclaim my power, as you reclaim your power, you realize it doesn't matter any of the story. You're going to be the co-creator of the new story. And so in order for that new story to be born through you, you have to let go of the old story. And in order to let go of the old story, we have to take full responsibility and appreciating with gratitude every single experience that brought you to this moment has made you who you are, has made us who we are. And so those were divine appointments more than circumstances that happened to us. They were experiences that happened for us, for the evolution of our souls and for the betterment of our lives and for the betterment of humanity. Because as we get in touch with who we truly are and our soul mission, then we can serve the world in a better way, and we can be beacons of hope for others who are traversing the difficulties of life once we've been through it ourselves. So I've been through many difficulties, so it's really great because I can help a lot of people. I always look at it like that. I'm like, wow, I've been through so many difficult things. Great. That means that I can help so many people because I've been through grief and loss. My mother died. My mother lost her mind. I was in foster homes. I grew up with strangers. I didn't have any idea, how much those things would impact me later on. But as I've experienced all these things and healed all those traumas, now I can see with a beautiful lens of appreciation all of those experiences, and like a unique tapestry, it made me who I am. And as a result of that, I've been able to heal millions of people with my energy and with the work that I do, because all of that helped to heal me. So what helps you? Share that. And in the sharing of that, you not only heal yourself deeper, but you heal everyone around you. Okay, let's see. Mike says, I recently started your flow state course again. What gave you the spark to create this program? That's a good question. What gave me the spark to create the program for the flow state? Number one, it started as a child. I know this is a part of my divine mission of life, honestly, to spread the teachings of the flow state. I learned early on from the Tao Te Ching, in Taoism, everything is flow. So they always say, be like water. What that means is flow is the infinite, eternal source of life. We're part of that. We are part of the energy of the universe. In Taoism, they call it the Tao. And in many cultures, they started to realize that there's a flow to that Tao. And that Tao, that is a flow state. So it's a state of interconnectedness to everything, pure beingness, in communion with the divine source of life. So the definition is actually total absorption with the divine source of life. So I dedicated my whole life to this. 15 years I've been teaching flow state through yoga, meditation, breath, detox, cleansing, fasting, all the different things that I teach. And so it all kind of condensed itself down to this teaching, because I recognize that now at this time in history, this is what the world needs more than anything else, is how do we get into total absorption with the divine present moment, with gratitude, with love, with joy, and celebrate life regardless of what chaos may be happening around us, and get into that high vibe and connect to the flow state. And then whatever's happening around you, whatever's happening around us, we can just, we can be outside of that on the periphery and be contributing our good energy, being a light source, being a torchbearer, and being a guiding light for humanity, instead of being caught up in the storm. Because if you're drowning and you're caught up in the storm, you can't be of any help to anybody. You can't be useful to anybody, or you can't, contribute as well. So instead, get outside of the storm, get into the center. Into the center is that eye of the storm. And I was in a hurricane before when I lived in Florida, and there's such an interesting energy of that. It's like the storm is all around you and you're in the center. It's the calmest place in the universe, the eye of the storm. And that's truly what it feels like to be in the flow state. It's like so profoundly calm and yet profoundly, infinitely powerful. And so you have the power of the universe all around you, and then you can just learn to channel that power into your own energy and then direct that and to be of service with that in the unique way that you're here to do. And so that's what flow state is all about. So if you want to be a flow state coach or a teacher with us, that's what it's about, is learning to master that art, that the art of the universe, really, the master the connection to the universe, and to what I like to call command the wind, instead of being caught up in the bands of the storm. Command the wind. And as you command the wind, you will see that life starts to work for you and through you and as you, instead of, that you're a victim of it. So when you're a victim of something, that means it's separate. And when you're a co-creator, that means you're one with it. So it's a shift from separation to unity consciousness. And it's a huge shift, and it's what the world needs right now. Austin, wow, thanks so much for answering in so depth. Oh, great. Yeah, you're welcome. Earth Energy Studios, you're a beautiful soul. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome, goddess. Namaste. Parasico Melissa, beautiful. Thank you for sharing, goddess. I'm going to pick up one of your pieces of work. Which one should I start with? Earth Energy Studios. If you go to the link in my bio, you can see a lot of options. It depends. If you're new on this path, I would say start with like the 7-day slay challenge or the 7-day flow challenge. Those are free gifts that I've offered for people to be able to experience some of the work that I do. I also encourage download the free chapter of the Flow State book. That one's all about the law of intention, and you'll learn how to script your ideal day and your ideal life in the next 10 years. Such a great resource. And then those are free gifts. I also encourage go to flowstate.yoga. You can learn a lot about what my work is through the free webinar that I have there. And if you feel called to be a part of our tribe and to be a light bearer and a torch bearer through the Flow State teachings, then you can join us through that as well. And we have options for certification programs. I have live trainings in Bali, and I have online. So we have the online training. We have an amazing goddess tribe of amazing beings that are taking this teaching out to the world and spreading it, because this is what the world needs. It's an energy medicine, and the world needs a lot of energy medicine right now. Let's see. So hopefully that helps you to know where to start. How do I get into yoga? I'm a beginner. Love Kiki. Yeah, just like I said for her, I would go do one of my free challenges. Do the free slay challenge is a good start. That one's self-love and yoga. It's 7 days, 7 videos. How you do mermaid filter? The mermaid filter, this is actually called Shaman. The filter is called Shaman, so you can get it if you want. And then, let's see, Mike said the teacher becomes a student. Bruce is smiling. Yeah, exactly. Betsy, love you, goddess. Love you too. All right, my beautiful friends. So yeah, if you want to get started with any of this, you can go to the link in my bio. Get started with something. You can join our tribe. Be a part of the solution on the planet. Heal your life. Heal the world. Join our tribe. We're healing the world together. Much love. I'll see you again. Happy Palindrome Day 1/20/2021. And may all your dreams manifest with effortless ease and grace, with the divine support of the universe always, in all ways. Aho, ashe, amen, namaste. I love you. Have a beautiful day.